All right, folks, I am back doing some War and Rights commentary, Eye in the Sky stuff. Normally, if 3 or 4 minutes had passed, you might have missed something, but the map is Hooker's Push. I think this is a really good map. The CSA is playing a very interesting, very kind of up-in-your-face style here while they are defending. And so, yeah, it looks like Miller's Cornfield. It's not. If it was, I wouldn't be here. The Union spawn way, way back there. They have a long way to go. Officers very quick. Durdan, Pineapple, Oilman. Did I miss someone over here? Skynet, Red, Troll, and some others. But that's pretty much it. So I know probably a little bit more than half of them. All good. And so this map tends to be well balanced. It's challenging. The Union just lost a fairly close one on Eastwood Skirmish. We will see if they can recover here. Yeah, the CSA is looking to surprise the Union. Looks like they dropped maybe 2 and then lost their officer out of line. So, surprise, but the danger here is that this group gets cut off. When you play that far forward, I mean, Dirty Dan, he attracts a following. So, you know, if you can bring 58 people with you, you don't really need the other companies. But you can see there's that other group there near Caprox. This is just a flag that I guess they forgot to bring or something. I don't know what that is. So maybe this is actually 2 companies.
All right, break loads, let's go. All the way back, all the way back, all the way back.
Happy New Year. All right.
We're running far this time.
So yeah, it's 2 groups that time. There is a deflate. You can't, I don't think you can quite see it. If we go down to the Union point of view, you can see it much better. So coming out of here, there's this defilade, and then you can kind of come up to it, and then once you crest it, then you can see for miles and miles, or at least for several hundred yards, right? And that's the CSA pulling back. These are the rocks the Unions are probably trying to get to. Overall, yeah, on tickets that probably didn't do too much, and the Union's probably where they wanted to be. So there is that. That's a CSA. What is going on over here? I have no idea. That might have been a Rambo. Might have been a TK. I don't know. Anyways, the Union's hugging the. This is the. I believe this is the Eastwoods. I could hit T and find. Yeah, it's the Eastwoods. Appropriately named. Huh. Union is starting this one a little passive. Maybe the word is deliberate. Now, this is one of those maps, like Eastwood Skirmish, where one side has only 3 flags. In this case, it is the attackers. It is because you have the second sharpshooter, which is being led by Pineapple. You see he's got several folks in tow. And those sharps that they have, very nice. They also have, I think it's fair to say, the best uniforms in War of Rights. I mean, there are a couple of candidates. I think the New York Guard one there with the dark and sky blue, but I'm a fan of the green and the leather, the brown leather. That's I think that's what that is, or it doesn't matter. I know I saw it in the character customization there, but this is an arty heavy map. One of the many reasons, yeah. So this is kind of the first stepping stone for the Union. If they can embed themselves in here, what they'll frequently do, we'll see it. What?
I missed.
What? Why? This is kind of a pivot point between this rock, this set of rocks, that set of rocks, the shrubs, and that on the Union right, and then I don't think there's too much great that's left here, but sometimes you'll see the Union push up. Actually, just about where the CSA is, there are some defilades there as the hills roll. And they'll push the CSA as needed. I think, honestly, between this set of rocks, that set of rocks, the corn, there's actually a couple sets of rocks before you get to point rocks. Kind of right under where that guy is, although Cap is a bit wide here. Where and what are the... What is this about? I would think with the Union, you want to be doing the highest ticket burn rate you can get. Now, Union's down by... so we're down to 234. We had close to 300 on the previous map. 6-man disadvantage. Let's see what the situation is for Artie. So this is actually good news for the Union. There's only 4 people on artillery. For the CSA, 7... 6 is 13. So that pretty much evens out the infantry difference. The CSA has 3 batteries. Look, while this is a long-range standoff here at the...
This is easy shots. You guys should be...
A lot of the sharps. There's a 2-gun battery, which I think has now moved up. That looks like part of it. It's Battery Jordan, and it begins back there. I actually, yeah, I kind of wonder as well. But I think actually if you keep it on these rocks, or on this hill, you can shoot at those rocks. I don't know if it would ever be worth the effort to move over to here. Probably not. It's a lot of move time if you're doing it by yourself. The more substantial CSA batteries are over on the Hagerstown Turnpike. That's Brockenbrough. It's 5 or 6 guns. I don't know if you could see the guns there, but there are 3 guns in Battery Pogue. That's the point of contention on the Hagerstown Turnpike. One of the greatest maps in War of Rights. Union has 2 5 or 6 gun batteries. One is straight ahead. The other is right there. And sometimes they'll move their guns off to the... I think it's almost like an orchard by a farmhouse over there that overlooks the cornfield. So both Union batteries are behind Miller's cornfield. Union's got to be happy with this. I mean... Yeah, the ticket burn rate has dropped a bit, but they have the CSA down further than they are. My go-to advice on this that nobody asked for is to cap early as the Union. And just cap and hold, shoot it out, pull it back before you lose your flags. Keep the tickets close until the CSA is pretty, about midway or so into taking losses. And then you can play for cap. That came from the gun that got rolled up from Battery Jordan.
I'm just disappointed.
That's what my parents said. But, yeah, that was a good hit. Yeah, that was good. Alright, and for other reasons, I guess the CSA is playing the delay game. This map can go very long. I would say it also can go short. It can usually if the Union just comes up, caps, and the CSA can't hold or can't retake it, then it ends. But this is another... The CSA can kind of infinitely kite. This is a big map, and like a lot of it's playable. Sometimes there are maps that are technically big, but you can't play on a lot. But you can play all the way down here over to the Turnpike. I actually saw one of these games a couple of weeks ago. The Union was up under those trees, shooting at the CSA back here. It was quite the stand. But yeah, the CSA can go back into this fence here.
Independent fire.
Gives them some cover.
We have a little bit of cover. They have no cover.
Yeah, that's pretty much, yeah, that's it.
Tickets are coming back in our favor, boys. Keep it up. Keep it up. They have no cover. We have a little bit. They got enough.
I suspect as you move further right, I don't know exactly where the boundary is. Okay, I do now. Yeah, as you move further right, you take away the Union's ability to use parts of that hill as cover. Like this group here would just get shot in the flank. Maybe it's enfilade, I don't know. But it would not be great. And like they heard me. No, I think they're filling out the line. CSA is real thick back here. Gotta wait for the Union to start hitting some shots back here. There aren't that many CSA casualties.
Are they coming hard left?
Yeah, no, I think it's just one.
Oh, that's fine. Okay, where does... Alright.
Yeah, there they are. Those are the sharps. So again, their advantage is in shooting,
Company B shifted left. Company B
which is
shifted
probably in a shooting game where you'd like your advantage, as opposed to melee, right? If you can shoot about twice as fast as the other side, you'll try to do that.
Hey, the guys on this side over here, we have a company to our left. Watch our lefts. Hey.
Yeah, they dug themselves down here in this gully in miniature.
Try to take over sharps if I'm not dead yet.
Not sure what happened there. I'm also not sure where the other CSA and Union companies are. Alright, so the CSA did the thing where they try to come up in the corn. I saw it recently, and it never worked well for the CSA. It always ended up being a bad ticket trade. I don't remember if I saw them lose their flag the last time they did it. Yeah, maybe it puts the other side off balance, but you know, you're a third of the way through engaged at 29 minutes. As the attackers, you just... Okay, so yeah, you got to note the sharps don't have the numbers. I don't know if they saw that they also didn't have a flag, which meant they're definitely going to lose in a melee. Yep, that was the right call to charge them out. I mean, without a flag, they weren't going to be there too long anyways. But now, all three Union companies, if they choose to... I don't know if the CSA is going to call off that charge. It looks like it's slowing. But I was going to say, if the purpose of those sharps was to kite out, draw out, and then kite backwards, the larger CSA group, that could have worked. It's a tactic you don't see used too much. The CSA is doubling down on making this Miller's cornfield. I mean, there is cover and concealment to a degree there. But I think if the Union wants to, right, they can just put guys here and they can just shoot back. At least some of them can. And if the Union officer, arty officer, in either battery, they look like they're right next to each other. They're not. That one's closer. That one's a little bit further away. Those flags should be pretty easy targets if you can call them out. Well, the key is you got to charge where they're going to go if you wipe them. If you come over here, it allows them to pull their flags out, and then they just shoot you in the side. Now, if the CSA knows what's up, you just pull back rather than actually take the charge, because you're just looking to burn time off that black timer. And now the Union's abandoning the rocks that they worked pretty hard to get. And honestly, if they had stayed here, they'd be in a very hot shootout right now, which I think is what they want. But instead, they're going to chase this group off. Maybe they're thinking about going for an early cap, given that the tickets have... Yeah, you know what? They've almost evened out. I'm not sure what the catalyst was for the CSA to start bringing it back. Maybe it was a bunch of out-of-formation deaths when the sharps got pushed off up there, but we'll see if the Union uses this position to creep up to those rocks and shrubs, those rocks, and then see if they're going to make a play for what's up there. the two CSA companies, I was wondering if they kind of saw what's up, and I guess they do. And yeah, if the Union's going to opt to skirmish it out, the CSA will get there in time. The other two companies will get to this point in time. But maybe there's an opportunity if the Union was moving fast enough, they might be able to test a melee or at least a hot shootout. But you can see the CSA movements behind the hill there. These look like sharps who are doing the skirmishing thing. Alright, yeah, I mean, if you're tied on tickets...
I didn't mean to cap, but I honestly think we'll be okay.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the Union's up slight... Oh, I didn't know you were going to... Oh, I didn't know you were going to do that. But yeah, given that the whole Union is pretty much here, I would say just maybe sit at those rocks, sit around, and then shoot the CSA as they come back, as they come in to try to... Yeah. Yeah. That is the way.
It's a turkey shoot. It's a turkey shoot. Alright, use the rocks as sharps for now.
And the CSA shot a lot of shots at those rocks, and only a few guys were in them. Well, yeah, and it seems like a lot of times it's friendly. It tends to be friendly Union already that does it. Yeah, I'm a little surprised at this, and now I think the CSA, after destroying them, they're going to charge them out. Yeah. Although there's a lot of CSA who are hanging back. Oh, doing that means that these guys could get gobbled up. Yeah, rather than concentrating. But see, the CSA is still trickling them in. That's what happens if you tunnel too much. Alright, so the CSA will eventually clean this up. What does the Union have? They're fairly thick. They're fairly thick, yeah, and they got all three flags. The CSA is out in the field. Let's see. CSA has cap weight. I guess Pickle's out of ammo and he wants to die at a line to get more. Alright. It doesn't matter, though, because, right, they're playing with the Union's tickets, the attackers' tickets, and so it's... If ever there's a time to die on a line, that's exactly the time to do it.
Hey, we need to space it out. Here's what's going to happen. My flag
That was a good hit from Artie. Yeah, from Brockenbro, that hill, that's probably my favorite Artie position in War of Rights. It's good on this map. It's good on Hagerstown. Yep. I never liked that side, but...
Fall it back, gentlemen. Get that flag up and get to the corn. Fall it back. Reform, gentlemen. Let's go.
One CSA company is pushing off. I don't think there's anyone over there. Alright, so both sides basically are a death away from taking losses. With 25 minutes on the black timer, so this is still the Union's game. I think they both went taking losses pretty much simultaneously, and this is pretty close to what you want as the Union on this map.
God, I love just having suicidal calves and sharps where I can put you guys in weird spots.
Like a few folks have fallen out of RD. Still not a huge presence. It's just odd on this map, but it's probably for the best. The other team thanks you. So we've gone back to square one for the most part. The Union's gonna roll out. They got one CSA company who's immediately ready for him, and that's who that was. And they have others who are pretty ready for him.
I see your bitch ass get on. Why did it take you so long to load?
Look what this gun has. Alright, so they have that clump that's just standing there right at the edge of the corn. You gotta love it when you actually get a 3-man gun crew. They know what they're doing. They can really empty those caissons out. Oh, guys. The other team thanks you. There you go. Very cagey. So it makes for a good one, though. I wonder if... Alright, so I was going to say, I wonder if they know they were shooting at the other side's RD officers. I don't think they do. Yeah, the Union's embedded themselves pretty well. All 3 flags. Moving up past the Eastwoods. Actually, somewhat historical fashion, right? They're trying to move... Let's see if we can orient ourselves to the Hager Center. Trying to move that way. One thing I've wondered, but I've never actually tried to do while flying out of bounds here, is to... I don't think Sharpsburg is actually modeled in the game, but Harper's Ferry is. Probably be a tall order, right? Yeah, it's not fine because all those other Union companies are there. Where are the other CSA companies? I think this is Dan's group, yeah. Where are all the other CSA companies? I have no idea what these guys are doing. Dan's company is pretty much fighting the entire Union, and the other 3 CSA groups, I think we're shooting at... something? Phantoms? I don't know.
Just get on here and team kill my people.
Shoot your shot, company. Sharp, shoot your shot, company.
Yeah. Pineapple is still corralling Sharps. You can see this angle. Right, they got the hill. Oh, it's not going to last long. This is going to be rough. Because if the CSA gets up here, all your cover goes away, and the Union will have to use a lead wall. So good movement, again, by Dan's group, which you would expect. There's a reason why his company pulled something like almost half the infantry at the start of the game. Union's still going to be able to throw more lead for a while until those CSA reinforcements. You can see that some are embedding themselves in the rocks. The one gun that they rolled up from Battery Jordan's trying to do its thing. I would think this would be a perfect time for canister. You have high ground. It's an enfilading position. You would do a lot of damage. It often doesn't line up like that, so this is your chance. Atlantic Civil War quote ain't, but we have a melee here. Almost on the point. They're gonna run through that gun from Battery Jordan that got rolled up, and well, they're taking a flag with them. That's risky, yeah, because you got 2 CSA flags on either side of you. Okay. They're taking that flag out. Going to do as many casualties as they can. It is... CSA might be up slightly here. They're probably going to go up a little bit more in the cleanup process because you got a bunch of Union who are going to die out of formation. Ooh. That was a good little rebuttal there. And over here... Union's getting real thin again. They have their flag down. Nobody's in a rush to pick it up because who needs to spawn? It's not like spawn is 2 miles away. Good man. Good man. Well, this will be interesting to see. Oh, that was a fun rubber band. Huh. Union might... It's almost looking like they're going to lose that flag. Yeah, and the CSA shooting here has given them an edge. Not many. It's a bunch of out of formation. Beyond that, it's quite a bit more. Union's got a flag way back at those rocks playing real deep. Union's a little too spread out, but now the CSA cannot leave point.
We just got pushed east. We just got wiped on the east side.
Get your flag out? Looks like you did. Yeah, somebody just popped into existence.
Fall it back, my lads, fall it back. We're about to get wiped.
Correct. Perfect situation, as you'd be running back, you'd have friendlies who were lined up and ready to kind of shoot them all along the front as they charged in, but bad news. Your flag is the last one out, which means if he goes down, nobody's going to pick it up.
Back it up, CSA, back it up, CSA, back it up.
Interesting. The CSA is going to opt not to pursue. They are ahead on tickets, this deep into breaking. I think the Union's... Yeah, they're still fighting together as one group. They seem to be at their best. They do need to fix the angle a little bit here.
We're about to play like stupid aggressive. You guys see those woods to the southwest? That's where I'm going. Oh fuck, go.
Do they have enough? They have everybody in on flag? We're at 275. This is a good thing, but... problem with all that running for the position is that... Yeah, well... The rubber banding is a little concerning, but... You're going to be running while the other side is shooting, and holy moly, that guy was running fast, but I think it's just the rubber banding playing itself out. The good news about this for the Union, I was just going to say, is that those are easy shots for Union artillery. But, you know, when you only overshot by 50 yards in the air, what does that matter? Yeah. It's gonna be a lot of out of formation deaths, but gives the Union a chance to creep in here a little bit. Are all three flags here? Yeah, I didn't think so either. You can see the Union's starting. They're right on the precipice of point. I think these guys might actually be on it, or just really darn close to it. No, that is them. That is the Union capping.
Flag it, ready to run back and forward.
And so the CSA, one way or another, is going to have to put a stop to this. Oh, the Union doesn't need to do this. You don't need to be moving. Make the CSA come to you.
Good work, gentlemen. Lay into him.
If I were the CSA, I'd probably try to come down and around here. You have a little bit of cover and concealment. The Sharps are here. You're not worried about them in melee. And the Sharps are too far away to support cap weight on point, but they can... Wow, that CSA company pulled off and just... I think they panic ran to the point, even though the CSA has all the cap weight there. Yeah, I think that was overkill. And they just allowed 2 Union companies to move up and almost completely get around their right, and now they got enfilading fire and flanking fire. It's going to be bad. The threat to their front is gone, so the CSA has to readjust its line. Yes, for reasons. That second Union company also didn't like what they saw. And the Sharps have now done an end run around the CSA to get in their back. Or to try to get in their backs. Right? Those are great shots, but I don't think the CSA is going to let you sit there very... Yeah, I don't think the CSA is going to let you sit there very long. So now if you're these guys, I think you run, and you really hope that the rest of the Union kind of knows to counter push as they sent a company off running in the wrong direction or out of point. This is probably on cap or real darn close to it. I don't know if the Union can feel the slackening fire.
Back it up, back it up, back it up. Just back it up, back it up. Get to the back of point, get to the back of point.
Pull back.
Well, that might be all the CSA needs to win. Not that decision, but no, they're not. Their Union's all scattered out. Right, the thing you don't want to have to do too much is to run while the other side can shoot you. Right? You want to be in that kind of inside track position where you're shooting and they're running as much as possible. See, the CSA has a good concave now, and a way that the Union did earlier on the top of that hill, they haven't closed it off completely on the CSA right. Yeah. You can see that CSA fire is not whiffing. I don't know if that was friendly fire. It doesn't matter. But yep, that's final push. The CSA's 40% left of breaking, and so it's kind of starting to remind me of the previous map where it was close right up until the end, and kind of the opposite of what I've watched in a lot of other maps where it seems like the Union's down and out, and then they somehow pull it back or make it real close at the end. It is a long timer, right? It's probably the longest final push timer. I mean, 6 minutes. But, yeah, it's almost 100 yards of open ground.
3 minutes are on, boys. Get on the line, spread out on the line. Spreading out on this line, boys. On this line, get on the line.
Is that the same Union gun that's shooting some hot air balloon we can't see? Yeah, they don't really have any other option. I doubt they have the numbers to really affect it. That was from Brockenborough. The Union's opting to go back in the corn and move around. I mean, they have time, but they're spending time running rather than shooting, so it's a good thing for the CSA that black timer is still their best friend.
Keep shooting down that line.
Thanks for giving him the suggestion.
Yeah, it's a meme at this point. The Union artillery.
Alright, about face, we're pull it back, going all the way back.
Yeah, CSA knows what's up. It's going to be probably one actual final push on the point. CSA is... You know, if the Union can do this fairly quickly, they can put the CSA in last stand. About a minute left. On this one, it's a little bit misleading as the defenders on any map, because you actually go last stand when it looks like there's some color left in the bar. Union's got to push up.
Should still be able to see just over the hill.
Fire at the corn, yep, move up right here to this, fire at the corn,
Alright, Union's coming out. My rule of thumb, if I were defenders, I generally don't want to go last stand with more than 2 minutes on the clock. In this case, it might be a little bit more friendly to the defenders because the attackers only have 3 flags, and so they can't keep as much pressure on. CSA also has some decent artillery, notwithstanding that. Maybe that was just 2 simultaneous impacts. Smoke is lingering. Alright, so the Union is capping. My guess is the CSA is just going to come at the end and try to stand on that cap and push it back in their direction. By playing this far back, it has allowed the Union to kind of give themselves the peeker's advantage. CSA is going to do some movement here to try to grab a flank on them, or at least an enfilade position. Looks like the CSA is going to try to charge them out. That's what they need to do. They need to move the Union off of cap. And the good news for the CSA is they are not in last stand, and there's a minute. Okay, they are now. Minute 38 left on the clock. And I guess more good news for them is that the Union are not all doing one thing. Some are charging in, and they're going to get wiped. And the others are dealing, I think this was with Dan's attack here, that cut a fair amount of time off the clock. You can see the CSA is recapping. Union's got to rally pretty quickly. Okay, they are capping again. This might end up being close. Yeah, that's going to be the key. Yeah, tickets don't matter to either side at this point, so they might as well. The CSA are not coming back. They do get a spawn wave. It's also a hike for the CSA from their spawn. So that is something, that is a fact. Yeah, they just need to try to keep whittling them down. I don't know where that spawn wave is. You see the Dunker Church, if that helps orient. I think that's the last stand spawn wave. It's about a dozen guys. I think the Union's actually going to pull this one out. I thought for sure they were done when the CSA had that much left of breaking and the Union goes final push, but the Union kept their flags. They stayed in the fight, and that'll do it for this one.